This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Well, joining us today is Cedric Simonet, the CEO of Altona Rare Earths, following the anticipated publication of the company's scoping study. I know this has been something that's been awaited for a little while, Cedric, but it's here today. And of course, one of the key lines I noticed from the RNS this morning, that you say that the scoping study demonstrates the potential for Montembuambe to become a viable operation. And there's, of course, a few key points in there, but ultimately the main highlight is that it's achieved what it's supposed to achieve, isn't it? A scoping study is there to assess the feasibility, the initial scope of the project, and it's succeeded in saying that it actually will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Mark. For us, this is a very, very important and positive result. The scoping study shows that with scoping study level parameters, the project is viable. I will remind people what a scoping study is. A scoping study is a first pass estimation of the viability of a project. We've put a lot of efforts and resources into doing estimates which are as accurate as possible, but the accuracy of a scoping study, of this one in particular, is between plus 35% and minus 30%. For the OPEX and for the CAPEX. So this is where we are. With these parameters, the scoping study results are positive. We've got an NPV of over 280 millions. We've got of 25%. That gives us sufficient confidence to move into the pre-feasibility study.
Excellent. Yes, I noticed, of course, that NPV there of 283 million. That's very nice to have a project on the books with an NPV of that. Certainly, considering Altona's market cap presently, it's pretty low there. Considering the scoping studies putting an NPV there of 283 million on the project. And you say also noticed you've got payback in 2.5 years, 18 years life of mine, and an initial production of 15,000 tons per annum, which, okay, we're not going to talk too much about numbers at the moment, but at the current cost of rare earth at just over 13,000 US, that would essentially equate to about $200 million US revenue per year. So this is, obviously, this is a very good, as you say, it's the first pass, but as a first pass, clearly this is giving the green light, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's important, again, I would like to remind the listeners a few facts. First, the study has been done by Snowden Optiro, which is a very reputable geological consultancy firm. They are very strict on everything. Everything must be verified. The study has involved inputs from 11 different geologists and engineers with 2 competent persons. So it was done very, very seriously. And we took deliberately an approach of being conservative on everything, on the revenue model, on the costs, on the CAPEX, on the OPEX, to make sure that we would be able to make a decision without any back thoughts, any doubts. We know this project is viable enough to proceed to pre-feasibility study. We know that all these things we've been conservative on are going to translate into opportunities for upside, for optimization as we go along with the pre-feasibility study.
Okay. And of course, this is a milestone moment, not only because you've got the scoping study done, but it, of course, completes phase 2, doesn't it? Which takes you to that 51% ownership. And the next, you'll be going straight into phase 3, which would take you over the 70%. And you're working on the PFS has already started.
Yeah, that is correct. We've finished phase 2, so we've earned 51% of the project. We are busy doing the contractual and administrative paperwork as I speak to take care of this. I'm currently in Maputo for this. We will get to 70% upon completion of the pre-feasibility study. There are other things we are going to do now to continue de-risking the project. Obviously, getting to 51% is one, but we are also going to lodge our mining concession application with the government, and we are going to lodge land right applications. We are going to take care of the environmental studies. All this is something that in Mozambique you can do at an early stage, and we want to do this to continue de-risking the project further.
Okay. The mining concession, that is, what is that? Is that the right to mine?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Currently we have a prospecting license, so we have the right to explore. The mining concession is a mining license, basically.
Okay. And I notice as well, you say there'll be a strong focus on additional met test work, that's metallurgical test work. I know we spoke about that before, actually testing the metallurgy of the resource there.
Yeah, that is correct. Metallurgy is always a difficult part with rare earth projects, especially in carbonatites. Monte Muambe is not different from other projects. Mm-hmm. So we need to put a lot of emphasis on metallurgy, and we are going to do this over the next few months. We actually had our project manager on site last week to pick another batch of samples that we are going to send to Australia. Some other samples are going to go to China. We want to make sure that we cover all the aspects of this metallurgical testing and of the process as part of the pre-feasibility study.
Okay, yes. I think it's important to note as well the magnet metals, as you call them, neodymium and praseodymium, which are the magnet metals. That's representing 90% of the project's future revenue, and this sector is forecast to grow pretty exponentially, isn't it?
Absolutely. Let me just make a small clarification, because there was a typo in the RNS. The magnet metals represent about 90% of value contained in the ground. But again, to be conservative, our pricing model involves only revenue from the magnet metals, not from the rest. So the magnet metals represent actually 100% of the revenue, as the model is right now.
I see.
We will be looking at the rest later. We will be looking at doing possibly NdPr oxide separation on site and valorizing the other rare earth elements differently. We will be looking also at potential byproducts as part of the PFS. But in terms of the market, yes, the market fundamentals are just so strong. To get this green energy transition through, we need many more mines of rare earths. We need a lot more production capacity. And it's very encouraging to see that Monte Muambe has passed this step, this milestone of the scoping study, is getting into the pre-feasibility study and closer to be one of these sources that will support the green energy transition.
Okay. What will be, you say you're getting started pretty much immediately on the PFS, and again from the RNS today that the scoping study has identified considerable upside potential, and this will be developed further in the PFS. So you say work's already started. How long is this work expected to take, Cedric, and will it be a period of quiet news until you can publish the PFS, or can the market expect to see some news on the activities going forward?
Okay. So contractually, the PFS is supposed to last for about 2 years, to have a duration of 2 years. We are going to try to do it faster. We have already started some things, actually. We have already started infill drilling on target 4 back in July, as you are aware. Campaign is a one-off drilling campaign, and we don't have to go back to it, so that it's complete, so that it allows us to increase our resource statements, increase the level of confidence to measured and indicated, and then convert into an ore reserve as part of the PFS. And also, as you've said, we are going to focus a lot on the metallurgy over the next few months. So we have samples which are on their way to the lab to do more metallurgical testing. So during this PFS, it's not going to be radio silence at all. There's going to be news flow. First with the de-risking actions that I've just mentioned, and also with the technical progress on the PFS, starting with the metallurgy, starting with then the environmental studies, then next year drilling results. There's a lot of things are going to be happening. Resource upgrade, and so on.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, it's good to hear about the progress on Monte Mwembe. Of course, the news today, I would say, significantly de-risks the project at the moment, and hopefully it goes further down that de-risking curve as you get into the PFS. Of course, one of the perhaps risks with Altona is it's just a one project company. Would you look to purely focus on Monte Mwembe given the encouraging scoping study, or would you be perhaps looking to add another project to the mix to perhaps de-risk the company as a whole?
Okay. So Monte Mwembe is our flagship project. It's a good project. The scoping study just demonstrates this. It gives us the confidence, again, to go into the pre-feasibility study. So we are going to continue as is our main center of focus. But as we've said many times, we've always had the pretension of having several projects on our portfolio. We've got a good position in Africa, knowing the geology, having the networks to identify and assess other projects. We do that constantly. Very strict criteria. If we are not happy with the project, we just drop it. So yes, we are continuing to look for other projects. I'm expecting that within the next year, we will have at least one other project on our portfolio. And as we look for different projects, we are not looking for projects that are similar technically, geologically to Monte Mwembe, but we are looking for things that are different. So the differences might be in terms of geological type of projects. We are very interested in ionic clay deposits. These are deposits that you have to look for. There are very few projects that you can find off the shelf. We are interested Monte Mwembe, the magnet metals is also what we call the light rare earths. We are interested in looking for a project where we will be more focusing on heavy rare earths. And in terms of jurisdictions, of course, we have a good base in Mozambique, so it's a good opportunity to develop rapidly other projects. But we would like to spread also the jurisdictional risk, so we will be looking also at other jurisdictions.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Cedric Simonet, the CEO of Altona Rare Earths. It's good to see that scoping study out on Monte Mwembe, and I look forward to following further developments at the project as they come through.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.